With just a laptop and a phone, this guy from New Zealand was able to go from a failing entrepreneur working out of his parents' basement to creating a one-man consulting business that made as much as $18 million in 1 year. This is a huge amount of money for any solopreneur to make. Just to put that in perspective, that's more than what 87% of the players in the NBA make. So in this video, I will be breaking down step by step exactly how Sam was able to achieve such amazing results on his own. Sam was by no means an overnight success or born into a rich family, so to truly understand how he made it, we need to learn where he came from. Sam's story starts off in New Zealand. He grew up a normal kid in what seems to be a middle-class family. His mom was a teacher and his father was a builder. His early adult years consisted of college and partying with his buddies like most young adults. Eventually he was able to land an internship at a place called Vodafone. Vodafone opened his eyes to how mundane and unfulfilling it could be to work at a corporate company. But it wasn't until an unexpected trip that he really began thinking of becoming an entrepreneur.
One day, my girlfriend at the time, her best friend, her dad owned an island in New Zealand, and I got invited to this island, and I didn't really think anything of it. I thought, okay, cool, we're going to go to an island. And then, well, actually, I didn't think it was an island. I thought it was a beach house, because that's what my girlfriend at the time said. She said, we'll go to my friend's beach house. And a beach house to me was like a little shack somewhere, maybe 5 minutes from the beach. Little did I know that we were going to a private island. And little did I know that there was a helicopter pad and all sorts of just insane things on this island. And so arriving on this island and being there, like, it totally opened my eyes to a new world, because, you know, my whole life I thought, okay, if you make 50 grand a year, you're pretty rich. And I thought if you made 100 grand a year, you were like a king. And I thought how you got successful and how you made wealth was by having a job and everything. So here I turn up on this island and I thought I understood everything. But then this island just blew my mind. I'd never seen wealth or abundance like this before in my entire life.
I was like trying to figure out how someone would even be able to own this. And I remember asking everyone on the island, like, what does this guy do? And they just said he's an entrepreneur. And I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was. So I remember Googling that. Seriously, one of the first things I Googled was, what is an entrepreneur?
Right.
Like, it wasn't just about the material things. Like, the dude actually seemed like he was having fun too.
Yeah. And what would you say, you know, you went back from the island back to Auckland, presumably back to Vodafone at that point. At what time did you go, I'm done, I'm going to go and start a business and become an entrepreneur?
Well, I was still at university because I had 2 papers to finish. And I did this elective paper because everyone said it was easy. And it was on like birds. And I didn't go to any classes because people told me you don't need to go to any classes. And so I was sitting in the library the night before the exam studying a textbook about birds and seagulls and things. And I just was like, what the hell am I doing here? I was like, this is wrong. And I remember just like, I thought about it for a bit and I was like, no, stay. Then I remember like going back and forth like 6 times in my mind. And then I was like, screw it. I just put the textbook in the bin and I just was like, I quit. Both, like right. Job and this, I'm just going to start a business. Because in my mind I was like, surely I should be trying to solve a problem and like add value to the world, not learning about some seagulls.
So Sam quit his job and transformed his parents' garage into his office and began brainstorming for ideas for his first business. His first business did not work out. He built a job board website that nobody wanted and nobody needed. His second idea, however, did start to get some traction. It was the office food delivery service business. But he quickly realized that he could not scale this business like he wanted to, and he really hated dealing with food. So he put an end to that business too. On try number 3, he wanted to create an app for property management businesses that would help them inspect homes. This app would later be called Snap Inspect, but he had no money to hire developers to build his app, so he decided to start a business that would alter the course of his career.
So I realized that I needed another source of income to fund the growth of Snap Inspect. And I knew how to use, I knew how to sell. I knew the basics of sales and marketing. And I figured this stuff could be very valuable to other businesses. So I decided to do consulting. helping other businesses with, the stuff that I already knew myself. And I decided to start a consulting business and use the money I made in there to fund the growth of Snap Inspect. Because I knew in consulting, it's much more of a cash business. A product business it takes a while before it's really flowing a big amount of money, especially a subscription base when people are paying $100, $150 a month. But with consulting, I was able to make pretty good money per month after a while. Of course, when I started out, I was only making $1,500 here, $1,500 there, and I would use that $1,500 to invest into Snap Inspect, which was awesome. But eventually I figured out how to, grow it up to around $35,000 a month. This is the consulting business.
Making this transition over to a service-based business did not come easy to him.
When I started out, I always, whenever I had to do calls, I don't think I've ever said this before, but I used to go and have about 4 or 5 beers before I had to make follow-up calls. So I'd wake up, wasn't a healthy sort of period, especially if someone said they wanted a consultation because I was over the limit.
But with time, he was able to figure it out and found success with his consulting business and also his app. Because of his success, he was invited to speak on a couple podcasts. But Sam found out that people were more interested in his consulting business than they were actually in his app company. One day while checking his inbox, he got an email from a guy named Stanley that had actually seen him on the podcast. He wanted to learn how he could start his own consulting business so he could have money to invest in his own app. So Sam agreed to train him for $1,000. He trained Stanley over Skype calls and saved the call recordings for him to review. Not too long after, Stanley landed his first client. Stanley managed to sign a client that paid him $10,000. And Sam was really surprised because not even he had landed a contract this big for one client. He knew that he was onto something. As time passed, he agreed to train more people, and basically he just gave them all access to the Skype recording calls that he had with Stanley, and then he allowed them to contact him and call him if they had any questions. After some time, he decided to make a real program, and he would only continue to make updated versions and making it better and better from then on. He started really niched down by teaching people how to consult in online marketing, but as he grew, he realized he did not want to limit his students to just one niche. Sam wanted to create a program that could help people become a consultant in anything they wanted. That's when he created consulting.com. Sam has struck a nerve in the market with this version of his training, and he was able to scale it on his own to $18 million a year before he started hiring a team. The reason why he was able to scale up to this level was because he was able to master Facebook ads and pair that with an automated webinar. Through the automated webinar, he could sell people into his program 24/7. At this point, so many entrepreneurs were going through his programs. People like Alex Becker, that is an entrepreneur that routinely makes 7 figures a year and is the founder of a software company named Hyros. This software company helps people track the performance of their ads. You might also recognize him from his YouTube ads from when he used to sell a Shopify course. Sam also trained Iman Ghazi, who created a social media marketing agency at the age of 17. Now he specializes in Facebook ads for e-commerce products and info companies. And Sunny is another 7-figure entrepreneur that has been trained by Sam, who teaches people how to make a full-time income from YouTube. Sam has created tons of 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, and some of them being as young as like 16. Now, not everybody is a fan of Sam Ovens. There are so many people that believe he is a scam. Some people claim that his courses are not worth the money.
But the course is shit. It's total crap. It's incredibly basic for a business owner.
But it seems that a majority of the criticism comes from people who have never really taken his course but really dislike the marketing tactics. The fact that he would make such bold claims in his webinars and lie to people by telling them it was live when in fact it was pre-recorded and pressured them to buy through false scarcity felt slimy and wrong to a lot of people. I don't really think Sam liked doing this type of marketing either. I believe he did it because it worked really well and he felt like it was what he needed to do in order to get people into his program. But sometime last year, Sam decided to completely change his marketing strategy. That is why you don't see him on Instagram, you don't see him posting any new YouTube videos, you don't even see him selling through a webinar anymore. When asked about his future plans for his business, this is what he wrote. Consulting.com has been, and still is being, transitioned from a guru marketing business to a team-led education business. The company has always had great content, and our students got amazing results. but the company was very dependent on marketing and my personality. We are restructuring it so it's more product focused, team led, and organic. Once we perfect this model, we'll update our courses to teach it. Consulting.com aims to help people start and grow their own online education businesses by teaching their talents and running their own virtual school without being a guru, using social media, feeding the content machine, or running ads. This is the goal. Sam has even went as far as to create a community platform that he has named School. He says that it's like Facebook groups but better. And he says that he built this platform so students can learn more in a peer-to-peer environment instead of being reliant on a one-to-one connection with their teacher. He's also the first person that sells a course that I ever seen offer a free trial. He gives you the chance to try out his course for a whole week before you decide to buy. This is not like a refund guarantee like most other courses offer. This is literally like a Netflix trial that you can cancel at any time. I think that this is a great way to market a course because instead of having to listen to this person or this other person on the internet whether or not this course is worth it, you can try it out on your own for free and make that decision yourself. So if you want to try out Sam's course, you can click on the link in the description or the pinned comment and you'll even get $500 off. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below.